Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today I'm going to try out a couple more new Dalula Company colors. I'm going to use Ruby Glow, Wild Plum, and Root Beer Float. Let's start out with the Ruby Glow. I'm going to try these colors on some kitchen towels. They're flour sack towels and they're 100% cotton. They're also a 28-inch square. So for this towel, I'm going to grab one end of it and I'm going to begin to twist. And I'm going to twist it pretty tightly. I'm going to let it twist in on itself. And when I can't twist it anymore, I'm going to start down at one end and I'm going to spiral the towel. I'm going to spiral it almost like a cinnamon roll. Then I'm going to use some rubber bands to hold it all together. After I did this fold, I went ahead and did quite a few more of these towels, and so I placed this one aside for about a day or two. It was still fairly damp though by the time I got back around to adding the dye. Because it's been cold, I soaked these in soda ash and then I wrung them out by hand. So the kitchen towels are pretty damp when I'm tying them, and it takes quite a while for them to dry. Okay, so on this towel, I'm going to use Ruby Glow. And here's what my color swatch ended up looking like. So for my setup, I'm going to use a plastic container, which I purchased from the Dollar Tree. Then I'm going to use a small metal basket, which I'm going to place upside down inside of that plastic container. Then on top of the small metal basket, I'm going to place a round metal basket. That's going to keep the towel up out of the muck. Muck is defined as the runoff from the melting ice that's mixed with the dye. And you can process your items down in the muck if you want to. That works. But for this particular project, I want to keep it out of the muck. I want to see the cool color splits. I want to see the colors the way they're supposed to be, not a little bit darker, which I think muck gives a darker feel to the dye. I'm going to place the towel down inside, and then I'm going to lightly sprinkle some of the Ruby Glow over the top. Then I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye and add on some ice. I'm also going to tilt or incline this container just a little bit. I want to allow the dye to move a little bit on this item. It's not going to move a lot just because of the fold that I've done, but I thought let's give it a try. Then I placed the container aside and I allowed the ice to melt. Once the ice melted, I took this round basket and placed it down inside of another tote, placed the lid on top, and I allowed it to process where it was nice and warm. I left it for probably about 2 days before I rinsed it out. Okay, so let's do the Wild Plum and Root Beer Float towel. For this one, I'm going to start by folding the towel in half, and then you're going to see me fold it several more times. What I'm ultimately going to do is I'm going to accordion fold the towel. So in the beginning, I'm just trying to find the size of the accordion folds that I want. So I folded the towel in half, then folded one side down part way, folded it back up part way, and then folded it down again. Basically trying to find out the width that I'd like for the accordion folds to be, where they can all be the same in size. Now that I'm happy with the size of the accordion fold that I have, I'm going to use that one fold as a guide to make the rest of my folds. I'm going to continue making accordion folds until I have the entire towel folded. Now to make my fold a little bit thinner, I'm going to take and fold this whole entire accordion fold in half. Then I'm going to start down at one end and I'm going to spiral it in on itself just like a cinnamon roll and just like I did the last towel. And like the last towel, I'm going to hold all of this in place with some rubber bands. For this towel, I'm going to use two colors. I'm going to use Wild Plum and Root Beer Float. When I did my color swatches, I placed those two side by side and I thought they went really well together. So I thought I would use them together on this fold. I'm using basically the same setup as I used on the last towel. I'm using the same tubs and I'm going to place the towel down in the bottom of the round container. And then this time I'm going to add Wild Plum to half of the towel and I'm going to add Root Beer Float to the other half. Now I'm going to add some additional dry soda ash and a layer of ice. After the layer of ice melted on this one, I placed it down inside of that same tote, put the lid back on, and let it process for a couple of days. I rinsed both of the towels the same way. I took them to my utility sink and I started rinsing them in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. Then I warmed the water up to hot, continued rinsing in hot water to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. And somewhere in there, I went ahead and untied the towels. Instead of continuing to rinse for a long time, I ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish soap to the water, placed the towels inside, and allowed them to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the towels along with some Dharma's professional textile detergent into my washing machine and I washed them using a hot water cycle. Okay, so both the towels have been washed, dried, and ironed, and let's see what these new colors look like. Okay, so here's the Ruby Glow, and I think this is a really pretty color. I ended up with pretty much all the colors that are described out on the Dalula Company website, which, by the way, I've left a link to the Dalula Company website down below this video in the description. Let me read the description from the website. It says that Ruby Glow features a vibrant, deep purple red hue accented by hints of pink, subtle mauve tones, a striking blue, and occasional bursts of refreshing mint green. And like I said, I ended up with all those colors, and I think it is really pretty. Lots of variations of that like deep reddish mauve color, lots of pretty blues. And with the way that I twisted and then spiraled this one, it looks kind of like waves on the towel. I think it's really pretty. Okay, so now let's look at the Wild Plum and Root Beer Float towel. Okay, so what do you guys think about this one? Because I think this one is really, really cool. I love these two colors together. Let me start by reading the Wild Plum description from the website. It says, Wild Plum sort of lives up to its name in it can be a little wild. From a deep, rich burgundy red to purples, some dark grays, light pinks, purple tones, rich browns, almost a black hue, and last but not least, striking greens or yellow tones. So even though I used 2 colors on this towel, I placed one color on one side and one color on the other side. So what you're seeing is stripes of the color. You can find that kind of dark plum burgundy-ish color, and that is the wild plum. And in that wild plum, I see the cool, like greens and mauves, the burgundy colors. I really like that green. It's kind of like an olive green. Just looks really cool with that. And then a little bit of kind of yellowy gold where right at the edge. So it's kind of where the 2 colors meet. So let me read the description for the root beer float, because that color could actually be coming out of either one of these colors. So the description for root beer float says that root beer float is a captivating brown that showcases a rich variety of tones. It combines elements of red, pops of dark purple, oranges, some soft pinks, sandy browns, and deep opulent browns, all enhanced by delicate hints of yellow and gold. This dynamic and cheerful color adds an exciting, earthy dimension to your dyeing endeavors. So that yellow could be coming either from the root beer float or from the wild plum. But I really think it looks cool how it kind of divides both of those colors right in the middle of the towel. It doesn't do it on every row, which I think it makes it more interesting. On the root beer float, I get most of those colors that they're mentioning. I have some of the lighter, kind of more mauve-y pink colors, lots of different shades of brown, kind of khaki-ish camel colors. I really think that these 2 colors pair well together. I've actually used these 2 colors together on another project, which I have the video ready to edit, but it's going to be a little while before I can get to it. I used both of them together on a sweatshirt, along with some other colors, and I think the sweatshirt turned out looking really cool. Okay, so now let's look at both of the towels together, and I think they both are really cool. I mean, I like the Ruby Glow, love the color splits that came out of that one, and I think the design is really cool, how it does look like the waves. As far as the Wild Plum and Root Beer Float goes, I really like both of those colors. I think they're both great color splitters, and I really love this design. Doing the accordion fold and then folding it in half again to make it a little smaller, and then doing the spiral of it, it looks really cool. And I love the 2 colors paired together, the way they just flow into one another, those pops of green and darker burgundy plum colors. To me, I really love this color combination. But what do you guys think? Do you like these towels? Do you like the designs? Do you like the new colors? I think they're gorgeous. And by the way, if this is your first time seeing any of Dula Company dyes, let me explain Dula Company a little bit. Dula Company is a small business dye company, and it's owned by Amanda. She mixes all the dyes herself, and she mixes them specifically for ice dyeing. I'm sure you could use these colors for liquid dyeing, but they're not intended for that purpose, so I've never tried them that way. Because she mixes them for ice dyeing, they have lots of really cool color splits. I'm working on videos for her newest colors right now, so if you see a color out on her website, but I don't have a video for it, it's coming real soon. If you see a color out there, just look back through some of my old videos, and I'm sure I probably have a video showing what that color looks like on a project, either a towel or a shirt or some other tie-dye project, because I think her colors are absolutely gorgeous. And by the way, since she does mix all of her dyes by herself, if you order, it can sometimes take about 3 weeks before the dyes ship. But I think it's worth the wait because these dye colors are really unique. Okay, so please let me know what you think about these colors. Do you like them? Do you like the designs? Drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.